So I think we're one comment away from a blowout, so I'm waiting for it. That's Venice Beach, California.
That's it. That's right. Everything and anything happens down here in Venice.
Yeah, very good shot.
That was a great shot. Rusty read that Alex coming across, and he didn't have to do that, but it was an aggressive move. Can't fault him for that.
Told you.
Are you right? Was it at it?
Battle of the hands.
No, that was at it. I think that's...
Battle of the hands between Brian and Alex.
That's unbelievable
That's
hands.
what we're going to see.
It is
so
deuce.
We're at deuce now.
You were right. Big point coming up here. Big point.
Yeah.
Rusty's missed a few of those right now.
Well, he just hits so deep, so it's very difficult unless he hits a perfect.
And he's hitting
return.
flat. He's hitting a very flat ball, so he's got very little margin for error. Definitely got to hit that ball exactly where you're intending to hit it. Well, that's a great return and a good volley.
Yeah.
Wow.
Game goes to Friedman and Emery. 5-5.
Surprising miss there by Brian as well. That's his favorite shot. He had time to set up for that backhand. It looked good, but he just misjudged it a little short on the net. A rare miss by him on a backhand.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
What a point.
What a great point.
Unbelievable.
Great get by Scott and a great finish by Alex.
Well, a lot of this sport is anticipation. And you saw then Scott obviously move Brian. It's a very low, deep serve. Doesn't give you a lot of... Doesn't give you a lot to work with.
I mean, look, that was a good low, good low return by Scotty, but Brian hit such a good form first volley, low over the net. It put him right back on the offense. Although that time he got caught with another great return by Alex. So again, it's hard to hit that low volley with no strings. You got the paddle, right? You really got to get down and make good contact on that first volley.
He needed to really press on that.
Game goes
He
to
kind of...
Alex
A lot of
took a step back. Yeah.
A lot of this game is you cannot allow the ball to drop below the net.
That's correct.
Once you do that, you're almost giving the other team the advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I think for a lot of teams, one of the hardest positions to be in, if you're playing in the deuce court, like Alex is right now, and Scott hits a good return like that cross court, although Alex would like to move in and poach, he has that backhand in the middle. And for most people, that poach is the hardest poach. Whereas a lefty would have the forehand in the middle, so you have a little more of an advantage if you can have that lefty-righty combo where you have, like Brian and Rusty, always have forehands in the middle on the poaching.
It makes it very difficult to take control when you're returning.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very good.
30 low.
Good solid play here.
All of these players all feed off energy. They all feed off...
Rusty's missing too many balls right now, and Brian is potentially about to say something to him. From time to time it happens.
Yeah.
Mostly it was a good anticipation by Scotty coming across and taking that first volley.
We have two players known for their tactics on the court, not always love the tactics.
Exactly.
We got Scotty Friedman, who loves to work the ball and make sure that he's got a full grasp on it, and
that's right.
You got Russ Garber with the hat tricks.
That's right.
So it's very entertaining to watch. That's good. That's good hands though.
Very good.
Good to see.
In the tiebreaker.
So we're in the tiebreaker here in the first set. So I believe we went through that first set without a break of serve, which happens a lot in this game.
It does.
And when you can get, like we talked about before the match started, if you can get that early break, it's a huge advantage.
It is.
In this game because it's very hard to break serve.
1 point can really be the difference in a tiebreak.
And now they're just playing to 7.
Just to 7.
Because it's the first set breaker.
That's great talk by Scotty.
Good
This is where
communication.
experience will really play a part.
Absolutely.
Alex is very new, very young to the game. Yeah, talented, absolutely, but the experience of Scott Friedman's going to help him.
Absolutely.
That's
2-1.
It's like hovering over the net, That's probably why Russ played that lob earlier to try and move him back.
Brian one serves, down 1-2.
Big point coming right here.
Massive point.
1 serving, 2 in the breaker. It's a very smart volley by Brian. You notice he took a little pace off it and just hit the ball deep in the court. A very smart shot hit by him there.
He's a very clever player for sure. Definitely has a lot of tools in his belt. That is a beautiful,
What
beautiful
a pickup.
lob.
What a pickup. And a great lob.
Oh, wow.
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
That was a great point, really.
That is a beautiful point.
Yeah. Both teams had an equal chance to win that point.
Emery and Friedman, a mini break. In the
So the mini break to Scott and Alex.
So they're up 3-2 in the breaker.
3-2 in the breakout.
Yeah.
First to 7.
Well, once again, I mean, every point, like you said, every point is so important right now. Because if Rusty finds a way and Brian to win this point, they're back at 3-all, and now it's anybody's breaker. But if they hold on and go up 4-2, they got a pretty good edge.
Well, I think the difference here is
Wow.
Brian is playing very strong, but I think Scott Friedman has stepped up a little bit, which is making it a little easier for Alex to impose
to loosen
himself.
up a little bit,
Yeah.
right?
It's a beautiful serve.
Let's go!
Brian's fired up.
They just won. That was a mini break. They just won both points, by the way. They're now serving at 4-3 because of Rusty's let court return to serve a point before.
Yes.
Now they're serving at 4-3. They got the advantage. They just got the mini break back.
5-3.
Now at 5-3, they're looking good for closing in on the first set, especially if they pick up this point. I think Scotty's going to have to go cross court on this return. And Brian cut it off, and now they got 3 set points.
It's going to be tough to come back from there.
So Rusty at 5-3 just now, just to kind of break that point down, Rusty hit a pretty good serve deep into the corner, and Scott had it in his mind that he wanted to go cross court back to Rusty, but it was a good enough serve that Scotty popped the return up high, which gave Brian an easy first volley to come across, put it away with that high backhand volley. That's good tactical tennis pop right there.
Sounds as though Scotty's a little frustrated right now with again,
Alex.
speaking of the the Rusty tactics. He just asked one of the fans or the crowd if Rusty was allowed to delay like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Great play by Alex.
4-6.
Good
Wow.
touch. So this point is very important. Anything could happen.
Absolutely. 4-6 in the breaker. They just saved their first set point. Uh-oh,
Wow.
let court. That's going to do it. Yeah. Wow, they got the let court.
Game of the first set.
So we got a 7-4 in the breaker. Rusty Garber and Brian Wan take the first set in a really tight, well-played
The second set
first set.
underway in just a moment.
And I think, like you were talking about, I think, just the communication between the players at this level, this intensity and the speed of play, it's so important to have that communication with your partner and ideally stay on the encouraging side of the fence with your partner, especially when it gets tight and it gets tough. And like you said, you pointed out that this is a newer game for Alex, although he's a great athlete and he's picked up the sport very well. I think it's important for him to have some positivity coming from his partner so that he can push through on those tight moments.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, like with these animated players, although like we encourage and we want that animation, it puts a lot of pressure on the partner.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And we see that with Brian, we see that with Scotty Friedman.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Joyride, owned by
So I want to say hi on the changeover real quick to Ava, my daughter, all her fans that are on Instagram that are watching us
Yes,
today.
appreciate.
I want to just say hi to everybody out there. Thanks for supporting Ava and supporting our tournament today. We really appreciate having you with us and hope you're enjoying the sport if you're seeing it. I know we got a lot of folks seeing it for the first time today.
We do. I
Right?
mean, even back in Australia, I have my mum is watching it, and she's got
wow.
the friends and the family up and watching it. And
What time is it over there? It's
it started at 3 a.m. for them.
holy cow! That's commitment.
That's commitment right there. Well, they're the backbones of the sport. the
Absolutely.
fans, so we appreciate the love. And
For
obviously
sure.
with Ava, like supporting, my business with Popplaya as well. So.
Absolutely.
Okay, we've got big pressure points here. Yeah, that's a great shot.
See, now watch for, so we're deep into the tournament, where this is the semifinals. Watch the return of serves right now. As guys are getting a little bit more, maybe a little more fatigued throughout the tournament. And so, obviously the key to this game on the return of serve is keeping that ball down,
Yes.
low, and you're gonna start seeing, I think, some returns pop up a little higher. And it's real important to really focus on getting low, because in this game, as you pointed out, that ball is depressurized. So you've got no strings on the paddle. So even more so than tennis, the return of serve here, you've got to get lower and get down to the ball to be able to hit that effective return of serve. And as the tournament gets later like this is, it's harder to do that into the tournament. So right now, let's just keep an eye on these return of serves. If anybody's going to get a chance to break, they've got to make good returns.
Yes.
Let's see how Scotty does on this one. Now that's a very good return, but Rusty is
we go.
right there. What a point!
Very good.
15 all.
Wow.
I mean, Scotty just got real frustrated. He just hit two. Now that's something we apologize for again on television. There's a lot of passion.
Yeah, there's no delay here, folks, so apologize for that. There's
Exactly.
always going to be color when these guys are playing.
That's right.
Very smart. Yeah.
So obviously, if we're picking that up on film right now, we see Scotty's getting a little bit, making a couple of comments. It might be a little tough for his partner to internalize, and he's getting more and more frustrated.
Well, I think he needs to almost change it up a little bit. I think they're very aware of the tactic, and that's forced Russ to play that first volley, but it's not making Russ think about it. I think that was wide, to be
I
honest.
do too. I
Yeah.
saw that serve wide.
Russ Garber and Brian Long.
they got away with that.
Alex Emery.
But we're on serve at 1-all, so Scotty really shouldn't be getting that frustrated right now. He's right here in the match.
We've seen a lot of games or a lot of matches this weekend go to like a third,
Yes.
right? And that's because like anything can happen at this level too. Like the pressure is getting to a lot of people. You know, there's money on the line, so you know, that obviously plays a part too.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful volley
Pretty
by
well.
Alex. Very, very nice kid. You know, really come in and made an impact to the sport, and I think he's going to be around for a very long time. And he's definitely, I mean, Scotty's done very well at finding the right partners,
Absolutely.
which is some of the battle here.
That is definitely some of the battle.
Let's call that
Game
wide.
goes to
Let's call that wide.
Emery and Friedman. We're on serve at 2-1.
So we're on serve first three games.
Of the
And
semifinals.
really, I think
Russ Garber, Brian Long,
the difference in this set so far
first
is
set.
seeing Scotty get so
7-6.
frustrated when they're on serve. I think he smelled blood in the water, so to speak. He saw an opportunity to break in that second game,
Yeah.
and it didn't happen. But he's got to stay positive, because I think Alex is giving him a great showing.
The
I
US
agree.
Open Nationals.
Yep. I mean, he's doing what he should be doing, and that's taking control at the net and forcing, you know, Russ to play,
Yeah.
and not allow Brian to take control.
Exactly.
And by Popplaya.
And he seems to be very even-tempered on the court, Alex, which will serve him well throughout
Here at the Mecca of Pop
throughout his
Tennis
career in this sport.
At
You know,
Venice Beach, 62 national
I mean, it's warm down here too. It's like 75.
oh, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful weather.
But it's very, very hot underfoot.
Yes,
That's a great get.
what a great get by Scott. He dropped that ball low. Another low ball. Oh, I think that might have been going out. Alex might have just taken an out ball, but hard to let those go when
It
you're in
is.
tight quarters.
And you almost want to see that anyway. You want to see
Right.
them like playing that. Yeah.
Those are the returns I'm talking about late in the tournament, where normally they would be able to rip those right over the net. Sometimes they just miss them because they're not focusing on getting down in their form a little bit later in the tournament.
Yeah, correct.
Even the best of the best. You gotta be real aware of that.
And the thing is, Brian and Russ,
40.
I mean, they're your typical New Yorkers, you know. They play aggressive. They play a little like.
That's the
you
nature.
know, yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah.
Hard on themselves and hard on each other. Oh, Whereas like the frustration, if they allow that to get to Scott, he can break away a little bit and get down on himself.
Absolutely.
And then you feel it as a partner.
For sure.
But he's a legend of the sport,
Yes.
so you can never count him out.
That's right. That's a good solid serve and first volley by Scotty. And Rusty's getting a little more frustrated with himself, but honestly, whether he's winning or losing, he shows that frustration. So even when you're playing against him, it really doesn't mean that much because he's really the same. He's always true to himself. And
That's
then
a beautiful return.
That's the return. That's an ideal return. Dipping over the net, making your opponent volley up on that first volley. Not easy to do.
It's not. I just feel like one tactic that they haven't taken advantage of is forcing Brian to hit a forehand. They've gone to his backhand every time, which is surprising to me.
As me as well.
I mean, we saw it in the last match, well, when they played the mixed as well, targeting their forehand. But Scott seems to be going to the backhand, which is unusual.
It's interesting.
15.
But they're in the finals and we aren't.
That's right.
So I guess they know more than us.
That's right. That's right.
That's beautiful poach.
Now, that's a great poach.
Very good poach.
And a great serve. Scott's serving, you see, very aggressively with that serve, which really sets up your partner or yourself for that first volley.
So the first set, Brian and Russ took that out. And then we're at, is it 3-2?
2-3, yeah.
2-3.
Serving on serve in the second set, 2-3. Pretty solid play overall.
Is presented by.
And again, it's hard to break at this level. It's very hard to break serve, especially when these guys are serving the way they're serving very well, serving the ball deep, and getting up on top of that net makes it really hard for the receiving team to break serve.
It does, you're right.
Presented by Arbonne. Transforming lives.
So you can see here, Russ is going through his usual routine of
Delay a
dragging
game?
time on.
The delay.
It'll be the shoelaces, it'll be the hat, it'll be the change of shirt.
A full service immigration.
Now, I definitely
law
think
firm.
this is where Brian and Rusty are the strongest, is when Brian is serving and Rusty's up at the net. You notice how close he is. He's draping over the net right there. And Brian loves to get that down the line first volley.
That's a beautiful
Now,
return.
that is that's the return. The return to Rusty's forehand is probably the best opportunity because, again, he likes to wait on that backhand at the net.
That's long.
I think that serve missed.
Love 30.
So this is interesting. This is the opportunity now.
Right here. This is that window, that small window that comes. See what Alex can do if he can hit a good return here. And he
Oh,
did.
wow, that's an uncharacteristic mix.
But
by
he did
Brian.
go to Brian's forehand, like you said,
Yeah.
instead of the backhand, and that applies at the net as well. So strategic, tactically, it was a good move.
That's better.
I don't know that I would have. He got away with that lob.
He's frustrated with himself there, Scott.
Yeah.
He knows he needed to capitalize on that. They really set that point up really well. And I'll be honest, like Brian seems to be very tentative with his
Tentative
first
right
volley.
now. Agreed.
Look at that. Very tentative with his first volley.
Wow.
40.
Scotty's really having 3 chances at this break. He's going to have to put the responsibility on his shoulder right now.
That's beautiful.
He got that. What a
Wow. Wow, that is such good play.
And they got the
really
break.
good play.
Emery and Friedman in the first break.
Beautiful play. That's where that experience and that talk, you could hear Scott talking to him, get up there.
absolutely.
Wants those young legs working that net.
At the baseline.
But very, very smart shot. Set up that play well to get the break.
Now Alex is going to have to fight hard to hold serve here because he got the break. The break is, you got to consolidate here. Scotty got a little late on that. He had more time than he expected off that overhead.
Yeah. This is a really big point. They don't want to go down love 30. So you can see that Scott's trying to give him some advice now. This is where experience hopefully will prevail.
Exactly.
Oh, he's gone wide.
Wow, that was a surprising miss.
Yeah, that's a bad miss. But that was brilliant hands by Russ.
30.
That was a good get. The ball is temporarily lost in the fence somehow.
Lost the ball.
Not sure what swallowed the ball up, but
I don't know what happened here.
That was a really big point right there for Alex and
Yeah, he needed
Scotty.
to make that. He really needed to make that.
But
So-
you got to give, like you said, you got to give a little credit to Rusty for his hands on getting that one back.
Well, that's the game, right?
Absolutely.
And this is the beauty of this sport is you don't have to have a tennis background to be competitive at it,
For sure.
right? I mean, Russ plays some tennis, but
Yeah.
not a huge amount of tennis.
Well, I have to say,
Nice deep
wow,
serve. That's a bad miss by Brian.
bad miss by Brian. Alex put it right on his paddle.
So 15-30, they've got one more chance now to hold this point, bring it back to deuce. Interesting tactic. See, they've
There
gone
it
to the
is.
forehand.
30.
It's kind of surprised me that they haven't done that more often.
I
Doug.
agree. I agree. It's a good call. Very good.